Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and The Haunting of Bly Manor is Netflix's follow-up to The Haunting of Hill House, with nearly every shot of this show containing hidden ghosts that'll stop your heart and sometimes break it. So let's go back through this season, episode by episode, to find every hidden ghost. I think I found 70 of them. Some obvious, some nearly impossible to see at first, but you will now see them every time you close your eyelids. Spoiler warning, here we go. Okay, episode 1 gives us a nice roadmap of the ghosts to look out for, with Flora's dollhouse. The Rebecca doll is beside Flora's bed, as Becca has been possessing her. The Peter Quint doll is beside Miles's bed, as Quint has been possessing him. The Plague Doctor doll is in the bathroom, as that ghost currently is in this moment. I'll get back to that. Meanwhile, the doll-faced child doll is by the stairwell, as he is in a brief shot in episode 5. The soldier doll is also by the stairs, as he is in episode 3. Uncle Henry talked about seeing a soldier ghost in the manor when he was a kid.
I had a friend when I was your age too. In this house, in fact. He was a soldier, and I was very afraid of him until I gave him a story.
The Perdita doll is in the attic, where her ghost remains after her terrifying death. Viola is under the dresser, the lady in the lake, because she's outside in the lake. There's also a Hannah doll, cause as we'll find out, she did. Okay, episode 1 begins with Edmund, Danny's ex-fiance, less of a ghost really than a manifestation of her guilt. I guess you could say that's what ghosts are. He shows up in the reflection of the murderous London taxi when it almost hits Danny, reflecting, if you think about it, his own death. He also shows up again in the flat mirror. But the real creepy shit starts when Danny gets to the manor. The Plague Doctor appears to the right of the staircase as they ascend, and he shows up again in Danny's mirror after Miles walks in, and right behind Miles during dinner. Now Edmund appears again in the bathroom mirror, but as Danny tucks in Miles, the Plague Doctor is behind the bathroom door to Flora's room. The director uses this split focus to call attention to the background behind Danny as the ghost appears, disappears, and reappears. And as Danny walks to Flora's room, you can see the Plague Doctor again reflected in the bathroom mirror. Now, as I mentioned before, Flora's dollhouse directly parallels the blocking of Danny with the ghosts in the house. Danny's doll crosses through the bathroom, past the Plague Doctor there, just as Danny does.
And I'm finished. Perfect timing.
The Plague Doctor appears again in the mirror behind Danny when she picks up the Viola doll, and he appears in the shadows to the left as Danny tucks in Flora. Now, you probably caught the Plague Doctor appearing in extreme close-up watching Danny, but he's also in the background of the scene to the left of her. Now, later outside when Miles gives Danny the spider, the Plague Doctor is behind her in the grass, and when they return to the house, you probably caught her first sighting of Peter Quint up there on the terrace. But also in the same shot, the Plague Doctor appears in the bottom left. And then, very creepy, in the kitchen during lunch, the Plague Doctor's hook nose juts out from the fireplace behind them on the left. Now, later when Danny gives Flora the doll, there is some figure in the doorway watching her. And then the Plague Doctor shows up again in the mirror behind Danny, also in the bathroom shadows behind Miles, and briefly in the closet mirror when Danny first enters. That's before Edmund appears in it later. Then when Danny escapes the closet, the Plague Doctor returns in the hallway. And when she follows the footprints outside, the Plague Doctor, in the final seconds of the episode, appears in the mist beside a tree in the garden. Okay, moving on to episode 2. You probably caught Dollface in the cellar, turning its cute little head, but he shows up again behind Flora at the far end of the upstairs hallway, and then again when Danny looks for Miles at the end of the ground corridor. And then again, this is the scariest to me, under the kitchen table you can see his hands on the seat of the chair. Okay, later in the garden behind Owen, the Plague Doctor appears under the window. Plague Doctor also shows up behind Jamie at the far end of the corridor when she goes inside. And then Edmund scares Danny in the mirror, but then during hide and seek, the Plague Doctor appears in the room by the window. She looks right at it, doesn't see it. And then in the final minutes in this episode, the ghosts of Rebecca, Perdita, and Quint scare her as well. Look, I know there's a lot of clues we gotta sift through, because the best visual clues are hiding in plain sight, just like someone's front pocket wallet, like the Ridge! Thanks to the Ridge for sponsoring this episode. The Ridge helps you carry what you need every day. From their flagship Ridge wallet to their portable charging commuter backpack, they want you to make the most out of what you're bringing with you. The Ridge wallet is made out of military-grade materials like titanium and carbon fiber. It has a clean, stylish design. It is fall-proof, so when Jason Voorhees is trying to kill you, he won't be able to kill your credit cards. This is their aluminum silver wallet. They do have other colors, including some very flashy tiki designs. This thing is light, it's strong, just like you. They make it easy to buy with free shipping and free returns and a lifetime guarantee. It's also got 30,000 5-star reviews, so you know they're doing something right. They also have great backpacks and travel bags with RFID block pockets and the optional device charging batteries. Get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping and returns by going to ridge.com/newrockstars. That's ridge.com/newrockstars and use the code newrockstars Find the link in the video's description. Now, episode 3 opens with the cop visit, and he is useless because ghosts are everywhere. Plague Doctor creeps behind Danny and Hannah in the hallway. The soldier is behind Hannah under the stairs. And when the cop turns to leave, Dollface's nightgown is visible outside behind the door. And when Danny goes to grab her jacket, the Dollface kid is also behind her in the hall on the far left of frame. Dollface shows up again at nighttime on the grounds when Jamie has a shotgun. And then when they go to the chapel, the soldier is in the dark shadows on far left of frame. The soldier also shows up in Rebecca's classroom flashback. I love this. This is right after we see his doll beside their dolls. The soldier also shows up again in the lightning flash behind Rebecca in the kitchen. Then the Dollface appears to the left of Danny the next morning in the shadows there. And then one of the creepiest sightings, Dollface is reflected in the mirror of Flora's bedroom, turning to watch Danny go. After the doctor leaves, you can see in the background behind Danny in the hallway, that is the soldier standing against the wall. And then in the kitchen, the Plague Doctor hides in the distant background behind Hannah, along with, if you look over there behind the bin, that's Dollface. Okay, episode 4. Edmund scares Danny when she's prepping for Owen's mom's funeral, and then also later at the sink. But Dollface also shows up here. He's crouched behind that chair behind Jamie. And then shortly after this, under the stairs is a new ghost with knee-high socks. Later, when Danny kisses Flora goodnight, Dollface shows up to the right of the dollhouse, again turning to watch her go. And when Danny confronts Edmund at the campfire, the soldier appears in the clearing behind her. On to episode 5. When the Windgraves arrive, Knee-Sock's ghost can be seen in the doorway of the chapel way back there. And when Hannah turns to go back inside, the time jump occurs. This is an interesting one. The vicar, that is the one who married Viola and her husband and tried to give last rites to Viola. He's to the far right of the staircase, but on the other side of those stairs, in the chair, is Dollface looking up at us. And Dollface shows up again in his favorite hiding spot to the right of Hannah in the kitchen. Episode 6, when Uncle Henry tells a story about the soldier, that same soldier can be seen in that closet mirror facing to the side. Later in the bathroom on the far left, you can see the vicar watching Flora sleep. And as Danny leaves the room, before she turns around, probably got this, Dollface playing with that dollhouse. And then as Danny chases Flora up into the attic, the soldier and the vicar look down on her from the sides of the steps. In episode 7, there is a subtle shadow behind Rebecca as Quint talks to her. I'm sure that's something. And then episode 8, when Perdita passes Viola's portrait, it briefly bears this sinister face before changing back. And when Viola drags Quint into the lake, you can see a figure in black appearing in the mist behind her. And finally, in episode 9, the ghost sightings drop because, most of them are freed, except of course for the Lady in the Lake sightings haunting Danny. In the florist's door, in the water pitcher, in the sink, and in the bathtub. And of course, our final ghost sighting, our closing shot, Danny's hand on Jamie's shoulder. Oh, still scary. Comment down below with the creepiest ghost sightings to you in this series. Subscribe to New Rockstars, hit that notification bell, follow me on Instagram at EA Voss, follow New Rockstars. Thanks for watching. Boo!